I write a lot of stuff. I speak at a lot of things, do a lot of conferences, and I have, as you know, an entrepreneur program. But so I agree about teaching insight as the #1 priority. But there is something about your setup and how you equip yourself to be able to produce content, edit or provide editorial, then go through the production and edit. I don't necessarily know if you need an SM7B mic and a Yeti or whatever, but sound, picture, audio, and more important, strategy around the curation, which I'm pretty certain I'd imagine that you do most of that or think about that. But do you have any thoughts on if someone wants to take a channel seriously, how they should kind of set up or equip themselves?
I mean, I don't know what microphone this is. I don't know what camera I'm using. I don't disrespect it. I just don't hold it as the whole thing. If I'm traveling, I'm filming from my cell phone. I'm holding my iPhone out like this and I'm walking and I'm filming. No mic, like whatever this mic is, that's it. I'm filming and still doing content for my channel with 2.5 million subscribers. Like there's no reason why videos are not going up. But
you do have a lot of edit. I'm in the film business as well. And so we've got lots of editors and they throw up all these bloody graphics and God knows what, right? But I know you pay a lot of attention to animation and graphics and stuff like that. Like they do exist is what I'm saying.
For sure. I'm not saying to, again, I don't want to disrespect it. I think it's important. It's just not, it's not the thing that's going to get you to where you need to be. If you're a thought leader and you want to create content on YouTube, what most people do, the mistake they make is they spend 20 minutes recording the video and then 4 to 5 hours editing it. You're training the wrong skill. Like you don't want to be great at editing. You want to be great at speaking. So if you only spend 20 minutes on it and 5 hours on the other thing, you're just never going to get good at the thing. And the thing that will get you to be able to afford to hire the editor is being great at speaking. So it's better to spend 5 hours practicing how to do a 10-minute video that requires no edits. Because when you do an interview like this, or when you get on stage, or when you're being interviewed, you don't get cuts.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You got to go. And so that's a useful skill to train to be able to talk without having yourself be edited. And so I think that's a big thing that people should focus on at the beginning. It's not totally disrespecting the editing or the gear, but not seeing that as you can't do anything. Another easy way for someone like you to get started is coaching. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is where there's not enough coaching videos. And for someone like you, you know what you're doing. Like most people are afraid of coaching because they're afraid of being exposed. Because somebody might throw them a question that they don't know how to answer. Mm-hmm. And they realize my knowledge level is surface level, which works for Instagram videos, but won't work in a coaching environment where you're getting hit with something. You know how to answer the question. I mean, maybe if they're asking you about baking or something, but inside your area, you've seen it all. You know how to answer the question. And it actually, where most people will be exposed, someone like you, it actually creates the deeper relationship. Like, oh man, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He doesn't only know how to speak in quotes that look good on an Instagram clip, right? And the other benefit about coaching is you just have to show up. There's no preparation. There's some screening of who's coming on, but you don't have to figure out what your first lines are going to be and have a script. You just show up, and the preparation is in the decades of experience you have getting to where you're at. So yeah, I highly encourage thought leaders to get in on YouTube, but especially coaching.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I coach thousands of people. We're over 7,000 people in the academy. And there's no question that when I look at YouTube, and I'm like late to the party, now we're spending actually quite a lot of resource, time and money on all these channels, including YouTube. And there's no question that we can put up more content that's valuable. But sometimes the inner energy of a story comes from a protagonist and a defendant, right? So the idea that you've got someone that can challenge you on a point that you don't have to naturally defend, but you're reinforcing what the answer is, allows for the story to come out. And so actually you don't want it to be prescribed. You want to have a natural conversation. And I think this is an example of an interview where you can provide any answer and I can ask any question. And that's what makes it interesting if it's natural. And YouTube has a great way of bringing the story to light. And I kind of value it. Like I see, what was interesting about this interview is I see the benefit of YouTube, even though it's fairly a pretty saturated channel, right? I mean, there are pockets where probably there isn't enough content, but for the most part, there is an enormous amount of stuff on YouTube, and yet it's still a valuable resource and platform to be on.
I mean, I know we're kind of hitting the time, but I think it's not saturated at all. Like
really?
For for people who have a deep well of knowledge and know what they're talking about inside of just the entrepreneurship niche, because that's kind of what I know, there aren't that many channels. Like, how many channels could you name that are actually doing a really fantastic job, deep level of knowledge that people are sharing? Well, not that many.
On that point, you hit the nail on the head. If you start to go deep, people that have been teaching it for 15, 20 years, and they're going to give really good, thoughtful answers or insightful answers. I agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of people at the surface level that seem to be providing tips and some insights.
Yeah, but are you worried about a 25-year-old business coach who has very little experience, who's like saying how to make six figures? Like, you'll run circles around him.